All right, everyone. Today, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We have kind of a two-part episode. In the first part of it, we're going to take a look at Knights of the Old Republic in a way that Cassie and I have not been looking at it for quite a while now. And the way that is that we're going to have Keanu Reeves play Revan. It's what everyone wants, and we're coming around on it. And we're going to go through some reasons why Keanu Reeves would be a good Revan. Now, Cassia, you have been all aboard the Matrix hype bandwagon. You've been through the films now. How are you finding them?
Oh, I really enjoyed watching the Matrix trilogy. I suppose I was trapped in a Matrix of my own and I just haven't seen it until this year. So I watched them and I found them to be so inspirational to our culture, and like so many of the moments I was like, oh, that's where that came from. That's what that show was referencing.
Right. Yeah.
And because I'm a nerd and kind of a specific kind of nerd, I'm like, oh, this is like the most Campbellian trilogy, most mythological trilogy I think I've ever seen. And like the world building, just like it is so interesting, even just like down to like the myths about werewolves and everything. And I just thought it was a good philosophical action trilogy that it's kind of like a modern take on the Plato's allegory of the cave, and I loved it. And I was like, I should have watched this, so many years ago. But that's like a recurring theme of my life, I've kind of realized. So, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Make sure you are following Cassia on Letterboxd. You can keep up with her adventures and trying to catch up on all of the movies. But yeah, Keanu Reeves in The Matrix is excellent. And, every time we talk about Revan, we've been talking about our hypothetical film that we're, playing out over the podcast here. We always get a lot of feedback from everyone that when they picture Revan in their heads, it is Keanu Reeves. So we wanted to go through some reasons why Keanu would be a good reason. And Cassia, do you want to go first? Do you have a good reason for everyone out there?
Okay. So this isn't in order. But
yeah, this is, all of these are equal. All of these are the number one reason why
they're all equal. It's the round table. This is the Camelot of lists, but do you want me to start from 10 or 1?
Let's start. I guess we'll call this number 10. the 10th reason why Keanu Reeves should be Revan.
Okay, so my 10th reason is he looks the part. He kind of looks like the canonical mullet guy from KOTOR that was canonized.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he definitely has that look. Especially more recently, I guess now, when he started growing out the mullet, there in the 2010s, he definitely kind of fits that bill for that mullet KOTOR Revan. And that's the first player that pops up when you get to the create a player screen. That's who is there. So yeah, I guess kind of by default, that's how Revan came into being in canon. So yeah, that's a good point. So you want to have someone that looks the part, and he definitely does that.
Yeah. Did you want me to keep going, or were you going to do your 10?
No, let's we'll just keep going here. So I'm going to throw mine in the ring, and we'll just kind of go back and forth. So he looks the part. My next plug for Keanu Reeves here is that he is a good actor. So he's been in The Matrix, which we just talked about. He's been in like 100 John Wick films now. He's in one of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies is The Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino and Charlize Theron. That one's really good. Watch that if you've not watched that. It's a little bit, more acting from him too. It's not kind of this action-y role. He was in Speed, of course, Bill and Ted. So yeah, he's played a lot of different kinds of parts, comedies, action stuff, romance. So lots of things. So I think he could, really nail a character, with all that going on, lost memory like Revan.
Yeah, and I guess like kind of jumping a bit in my list, he kind of like has the, especially in The Matrix, like the acting style, like he can kind of tap into the archetype, like a lot of things can be projected onto him.
Sure, yeah.
Which is good for like the type of movies he is great in, and
Hmm.
I think that could work for Star Wars for a lot of people as well.
Exactly, yeah, because that role as Neo, especially in the first one, is very Revan-esque, where he, doesn't know who he is and what's going on, and it's that journey of him discovering his true self in this kind of new world. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Then the next on my list is he is the king of action. Take that, Tom Cruise. Like I feel like he would
Yeah.
be he's really good at what he does. Like he's an experienced stunt person and
Hmm.
just really convincingly can fight and do everything and like he's really close with his stunt team. He's good at what he does. He's safe at what he does and just like he's great at it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he definitely has the physicality to play a good Revan. And he's yeah, like you said, the king of action. Especially starting with like the Matrix, and then going into like Constantine, and then obviously John Wick, which is what a lot of people know him from now. And especially younger people that didn't grow up with the Matrix like I did. So yeah, definitely a good action oriented star. And I'll kind of add to that one to your point there. And he must have a really good work ethic and be easy to work with and do a lot of things and be good on set because he has like 107 acting credits. So yeah, I think he fits the bill there for sure.
Yeah, I guess that kind of goes into some reasons I have on my list. So two of them. The first is he's Canadian and
Hmm.
everything positive that can entail. You know, he brings
Yeah.
the positive attributes of what Canada is, I think, and
Hmm.
all that. And then he's a good guy. Like you never hear anything bad about him. I think like he's one of like the handful of unproblematic people like through and through, in Hollywood.
Hmm.
And I think people love working with him. He has a good work ethic. He's nice, and yeah, what I hear from here, like all the that's the word on the street that is
That
far away from. Okay, we're gonna
that that's right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, inside sources say that he is good to work with, and that's good, especially on something like Star Wars. There's a lot of pressure on the cast, but he's older. He's done these big, huge profile films, so I think that that's important to have someone. Think of like Alec Guinness in the first Star Wars, right? They needed someone with some experience and some composure to help these younger, unknown actors kind of get through this thing, and keep their sanity. So yeah, I think you need someone like Keanu Reeves if you're going to be taking on a project with the scope of Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah. Another reason I had is fans would be expecting it.
Hmm.
So why not kind of give them something fans would, want slash expect? And I think like it could maybe get like certain segments of fans to like kind of chill out a bit, like,
Hmm. Right. Yeah.
towards certain creatives.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's almost like if it's not him, then there's going to be instant backlash. It doesn't matter, who's playing it, for sure. But yeah, I had this point on my list too. And anytime you ever hear about anyone fan casting Revan, it's almost always Keanu Reeves, right? I never heard anyone else until you and I started talking about it a little bit, and we kind of had our own ideas, and we'd get a couple here and there of some different actors doing it. But yeah, it's always been Keanu Reeves. And I was thinking about when I was writing up my list, when did that really start? So the game came out in 2003, which was about the time like Matrix Reloaded, or
Yeah, and
which one
Batman
came out in?
Begins were coming out. Like it seemed like everyone and their dog at the time was kind of like being like Christian Bale.
Right,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, so I
yeah,
don't I don't think that the Matrix stuff was really what got Keanu Reeves on the radar for Revan. What I think, this is my own theory right here. It really didn't start to pick up steam until like late 2012. Lucasfilm gets bought by Disney. They start making movies again, and then John Wick comes out in 2014. So it's like right then we know they're going to be making more movies. Knights of the Old Republic makes sense. Keanu Reeves and John Wick looks like that, that mullet man, kind of figure there. I think that that's really when it started to pick up steam, because that seems like when I started hearing more and more about people wanting Keanu to play our unnamed protagonist.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what really kind of solidified the Keanu Reeves like fan casting as the kind of canonized mullet guy. Like that's literally his name. No, just kidding. It's not his name. But uh, that would be funny if they like use like an anagram of mullet guy as his underground persona. You know.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
right.
it just, like Keanu Reeves looks like the guy, the one, if you will, like who
Hmm.
is, Revan in SWTOR. And I think it was kind of like John Wick was coming out and people were like, oh, Keanu Reeves, like he's really good, and kind of taking more notice of him.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And he is pretty good. And we mentioned that he's a good actor and he's done a bunch of things. But one thing you'll never really get from Keanu Reeves in any of his films, he's pretty quiet in most of these roles. He doesn't say a lot. He doesn't have any like big, like sweeping monologues. Really, everything he says is very thoughtful, very to the point, and that's what you need for Revan. Not a big talker, Revan in our film.
Whoa.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. You'll get a woe during the reveal. Maybe some woes to Bastila or some woes to Karth when he's flying the Ebon Hawk. But yeah, not a big not a big talker. He's just going to absorb everyone's stories around him, and that's important when you have a film with the cast of a Knights of the Old Republic.
Whoa, Karth, do you want to talk about it? I'm like, okay. That's the one time I think in the like 100+ episodes I've like
That was
done
amazing.
a committed joke in another voice. It's probably not good, but
That was incredible. That
I
was
went
incredible.
for it. So
Yes, everyone get on the Instagram and give Cassia a compliment for that. Yeah, he definitely needs to say whoa for sure.
yeah, and then this I'm gonna blush, but my next reason is he is objectively okay looking. Translation. I think he is attractive, but I'm trying not to objectify him.
Okay, yeah. We don't want to objectify people. That's true, but he is a handsome gentleman. That is a fact. He is 57 now. If they started filming today, Knights of the Old Republic would come out in 2 to 3 years, so he would be pushing 60. But he looks great for his age, for sure. Now, a fun little fact I found when I was looking this up, and this would be really good for our age difference. So in 2019. Keanu Reeves was nominated by the Alliance of Women Film Journalists for an award. Do you know what award that was, Cassia?
I don't know, but is it like he's attractive or something? So
the award is the most egregious age difference between a leading man and the love interest. This film was Siberia. And he was 21 years older than his love interest, who was played by Anna Ularu. So in the game, there's a big age gap. We've tried to minimize that in our story that we're telling, but if you want to go straight off the game, there's a big age gap there.
Yeah. So I wonder, we could see like what kind of fan casts or shortlist there is out there for Bastila Shan, but I think I've kind of mentioned this a few times, but I'm not saying do this like no one think that I'm agreeing with this, but I have seen one fan casting for KOTOR where Keanu Reeves plays, Revan, male Revan, and then there is Bastila Shan, played by the one and only Haley Steinfeld. And I'm like, please never let that happen. That would be too much. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Keanu Reeves is like in recent films I've seen him, like he brought back Carrie Ann Moss to star with him, in Matrix Resurrections, and
Sure, yeah.
even the title Matrix Resurrections, it's plural. It's not just him being reborn. It's like I kind of took it as like Trinity is being reborn as well as like the world of the Matrix, like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I noticed, like in the Matrix trilogy, is just like how romantic it was, and like Trinity, like maybe there's like a few things I would change, like in the trilogy, but like she's not just there to be like, wow, you're so hot, like
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
she's there because she's the other half of, I would say, the protagonist. Like
Sure. Yeah.
they're part of the story together, and I don't know, like it seems like some actors can't date, people over 25, even though like they're way older than 25, but like
Right.
the vibe I get is like Keanu, like kind of post Siberia, like seems to be, kind of co-starring with like kind of like people more his age, which I mean, like I'm gonna see Top Gun Maverick, but
hmm
they kind of didn't even include like who plays the female lead in Top Gun.
Uh, Kelly McGillis, I think, is her name.
Yeah, and she's not coming back, and I don't know. I think it's a little, I don't know, like I don't know. I think they should have brought her back at least in some capacity, or like acknowledge her, like so. I think that like
Yeah.
he's doing, like more than I think a lot of Hollywood men and actors can do, and directors.
hmm
So yeah,
Yeah. Definitely. And kind of going back to what you said with him and Trinity, like he was very good at playing that part as like one half of this kind of love interest tale, almost like a dyad in the Matrix, if you will. So
oh, I mean, like okay, like if they wanted to just do like we're gonna do the Matrix, but do it KOTOR, like I'm like, yeah, Carrie Ann Moss, she's objectively okay looking too, like I
yeah.
would be like, okay, 100% on board for like both of them, and I'd be like, this is awesome, like, but yeah, like if they did that, that'd be cool. And a dyad in the Matrix, I feel like if it's not there already, I feel like there's going to be a Raylo fanfic with that same name, in the coming
Oh
weeks
yeah.
soon, because people are gonna see Matrix Resurrections and be like, oh, I'm inspired. It kind of reminds me of my other dyad, in the Force, and like they could do it, like kind of. It would be cool, and maybe I would like someone would show it to me and be like, yeah, I'm gonna read it. Just don't tell anyone. So yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. So do you have any more points for Keanu Reeves as Revan?
Yeah, so I have three more.
Three more. Okay.
Yeah, because I had 10, but
Yeah, that's true.
we've really been numbering these, like, which is gonna be easy for us, like later on YouTube. Like,
That's
we're
right.
not
Yeah. So
professionals at all in any capacity, like, because like, people like lists,
I'm just going to put the number 10 in front of all of them until we get to the last one.
It's
So
10. Yeah. Yeah, so for 7, this is character development for me. And I'm
okay.
going to say it without, kind of having a reaction or vomiting, but
Okay.
a hallway scene, like what if there has to be a hallway scene, you have Keanu Reeves do it and he makes it the most amazing thing ever. And what if
Yeah.
it's also kind of a character thing and something we haven't seen before? Like, he's the guy to bring it all to the table and give everything he can, So if it
Yeah, that's
has to
right.
be there, at least it's him.
Yeah, at least it's him. Now I have not seen all of the John Wick films, but the John Wick films are basically just like 2 hour long hallway scenes. So, yeah, if you need to have a hallway scene, Keanu Reeves is your guy for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I haven't been able to watch John Wick yet, but
Okay. Okay.
it's on my list, but I heard that in John Wick 2, they have a shootout like in a Casa, like not Casanova, but like I think it's like Antonio Canova artwork, and like
Oh.
I think
Okay.
there's like fancy like music playing like Mozart or something, or maybe it's even like the Four Seasons recomposed, and I'm like,
hmm
oh wow, this is like I might be distracted from like the action because I might be looking at the artwork and listening to the music, but if I am remembering correctly, I'm so excited for that and I can't wait to watch it. So I'm just trying to go full on board Keanu Reeves and see all the things I can before Matrix Resurrections. So Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just load up on the Keanu Reeves goodness, and that way you'll be ready for the
Hmm.
Matrix when that hits us here next week. So,
Yeah.
uh, let's see. So one of the points I had, I don't know if this is actually that good of a point or not, but last year Keanu Reeves played a character in the Cyberpunk 2077 game, so he's familiar with the world of video games. Now, Revan is ripped straight from a video game, so I think that that's pretty cool. He could play a character in a video game and then a character based on a character from a video game, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see like who like I'm speculating here, but like if they have a male and female option for Revan in the KOTOR remake, like who would
Hmm.
voice them? And I think in the original, like female Revan was actually voiced by Jennifer Hale because she voices everything,
Hmm.
and she's great at it, But what if they have Keanu Reeves act, voice act for
Oh,
Revan, and
okay.
then later it's canonized, like because he has video game experience, like, and there is the Matrix, like I think it's like the Unreal Matrix or something. What's that
Hmm.
called? Marcus is gonna kill me that I don't know that off the top of my head.
It's the Reanimatrix, I think it's called.
Yeah. So there's a really topical, Matrix tie-in coming in.
It's just the Animatrix, so that was pretty close.
Okay. Yeah. So close, and like he's
That's
part
right,
of
close.
that. He's a digitized creation,
Yeah.
and uh so he's not adverse, to like being a digital construct, voice acting, all of that. Like maybe he just like that would be cool. Like rather than having one person do the voice and one person do the body, it's all one person.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
And he did a voice in Toy Story 4, so yeah, familiar with some voice work there.
oh yeah, he's the like motorcycle
Yeah, Duke
dude,
Kaboom, I think is his name.
Duke Kaboom. So, uh, and yeah, it was funny because I think even his like owner was Canadian, so it was really funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's one thing I remember from Toy Story 4.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. And then 9 is people would flock to see him, like non-Star Wars fans included. Like he has a
Hmm.
pretty prolific career. We have Point Break, we have Bill and Ted, we have The Matrix, we have John Wick. Like people are familiar with him, and like if some person is like, "Hey, Keanu Reeves," like, or not Keanu Reeves, like Darth Revan is on this like show like with this title, are you gonna watch it? It's like, oh no, I'm not into Star Wars. And it's like, but it's Keanu Reeves, and then maybe someone would be like, shut the front door, we're watching it right now because I love my man Keanu Reeves. Like that could
Right, yeah.
happen. So
Yeah, it would be almost similar to how it was with Adam Driver, right? So, even people that weren't familiar with Star Wars or big fans of Star Wars knew him from Girls and some other stuff. So, yeah, maybe kind of the same kind of crossover appeal for our man Keanu Reeves here.
yeah. And my last one,
Okay.
number 10 or 1, I forget how we're doing
Number
this
10
like
or 1. I have
list
one I
that
have one
doesn't.
more too, but mine's kind of funny. So,
Oh,
yeah, so let me give you mine. This is a really good one, and this is the best one I could possibly come up with. So you just mentioned, so Keanu Reeves was in a film in 1991 called Point Break, and the name of his character in that film is crazy insane too. So go watch that; it's a fun time for a 1991 movie. But his character in that, his name is Johnny Utah, which is a cool name, Johnny Utah. It's pretty similar to Duncan Idaho from Dune, right? You have Johnny
yeah.
Utah, you have Duncan Idaho, and as we've found out from people commenting on our Dune episode, Dune is basically Star Wars. So I think that's the best case for Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Or Star Wars is basically Dune, like
Yeah,
both sides of the arguments. But
that's
yeah,
right.
like yeah, it's a good name. We love Keanu and all of his characters. So many of them are named John, you know.
A lot of
Um
Johns, yes, that's right.
yeah. I need to watch him in Dracula because I hear he's really good at doing an accent. But Okay, so get this. This is my number 10 or one because I forgot how we're doing this list. But
That's right. That's right.
Keanu Reeves looks like an older Revan post KOTOR 2, which
Okay.
could leave room for a younger Revan, like for the Mandalorian Wars series or a KOTOR adaptation or a different interpretation, a different story.
Yeah.
So, who do you think could pass as a young Keanu Reeves?
I'm contractually obligated to say Ben Barnes is the young Revan for us. But I think definitely if you put Ben Barnes and Keanu Reeves side by side, you could definitely be like, oh, that's definitely, Keanu Reeves's like younger brother or nephew or something like that. So yeah, I think that's a good pick actually if you're playing it as an older Revan and a younger Revan.
Yeah. Have they been in any films together?
Not that I know of. I don't believe so.
Okay, so this would be the first then if they ever wanted to do that, and you're not contractually obligated to say Ben Barnes.
That's true. That's true.
I did leave off part of the question is like, who would you have play a younger Revan, and why is it Ben Barnes? It's kind of like the question. Like
yeah, that's right. See,
yeah.
I was just just negate. You don't even need to ask. I already know. I already know the answer, and it's Ben Barnes.
We have like a Kreia exile mind link, minus like one of us betraying the other. I think,
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I have gained favor with my pick of Ben Barnes.
Yeah, influence gained. Yeah,
that's right.
It's always fun when you have like a conversation with Kreia because you can like. Some people are like, influence gained, Kreia, influence lost, Kreia, dark side points gained, light side points gained. And it's like, wow, that was just one conversation we had.
Exactly. And you end up exactly where you were at the beginning of the conversation.
Yeah.
But Kreia is a conversation for a different day because today it was all about Keanu Reeves because we are in a Keanu Reeves state of mind. As of recording, the last and final of the Matrix films comes out in 8 days. So very excited about that. Keep an eye if you are a member of our Patreon. We'll probably be doing some sort of Matrix like hype thing or review or kind of like Matrix show because we're very excited about it. So keep an eye on that. If you're not a member of that and you want to check it out, you can go check it out. It is www.patreon.com/Old Republic Podcast, and see what we have going on over there because we have a lot of fun and do some watch-alongs and stuff like that. So definitely go check that out.
Yeah, and we kind of just wanted to commemorate, Matrix Resurrections coming out and kind of give the fans, what they wanted, and like it was a good experience for me to like kind of have some character development and be open, to
That's right,
strange ideas, like I'm kidding, it's not strange. It's like I'm going against, like I've been going against the current of like public opinion, and it was just like maybe it's good to like kind of, not just tolerate something, but to celebrate it, and just kind of be like, okay, I can be not just okay with this, but I can be like really okay with it, So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, even if he's not your first pick, or even if your first pick is not the one that's picked, take a step back and look at it because you might be surprised at what you can see, and we should learn things from watching the downfall of the Jedi. Is that you shouldn't be so dogmatic. You should be open to new ideas and new things out there. So. Give things a try. That's what we're doing. Bring on Keanu Reeves. We don't care who Revan is. We just want Revan, and that'll make the world a better place.
Yeah, and love me some Keanu Reeves. Guess I get what the hype is about after finally seeing The Matrix. But like I can get on board.
It only took you 22 years, but welcome to the Matrix Club.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, why don't we take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk about, we talked about Keanu Reeves being Revan. Why don't we talk about the Revan that's coming up. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back to chat about that.
So, I don't know if you've heard, but there was a trailer that came out for Star Wars Eclipse, a very cinematic game that would take place during the High Republic, and it looked amazing, and I was very excited. But our good friend, Ironic Designs, aka Nick, he kind of pointed out some troubling news about Quantic Dreams games and some of the creatives behind that game. So, like, while I'm looking forward to the game, I do have some concerns, and I would like to see them addressed because, I mean, I like fiction, and I like new games, new content to look at and talk about, but like, I care about the real world and like treating people kindly. So I'm just going to quote my friend Nick, who wrote this, and his words are always perfect and inspirational. And I'll just read them now. Harassment and bigotry of any kind is unacceptable in general, let alone in a place of business. What David Cage has said about women and the queer community is dehumanizing. That being said, yes, the trailer looks impressive. It inspired me to make some artwork, as Star Wars has always inspired me. I am sure many people who worked on this game are not bigots like David Cage. However, a lot of concern and blame to go around, such as Cage and his peers who perpetuate harmful rhetoric, is primary. Secondarily, are those at Quantic, or any company in general, who promote belittling of marginalized people, and staying silent is condoning that harmful rhetoric, which now that it's out in the open, Lucasfilm should act in some way, at the very least condemning Cage's rhetoric, if not threaten to end their contract of Eclipse with Quantic unless he and others like him step down from Quantic. As a gay man and Star Wars fan, even just as a person, I am angered that someone like David Cage would go out of their way to abuse their influence, to spread hate and ignorance. I'm hopeful Lucasfilm takes some action, but whether they do or not, I'm not going to let one man or one company bully me out of loving Star Wars. The High Republic in general has been an inspiration of celebrating Star Wars diversity and inclusiveness. That means something to me and a lot of people, and I hope even with this misstep of Lucasfilm working with someone like David Cage that they take even bigger strides forward in the right direction. It's important to have these conversations. People need to be reminded what is unacceptable behavior. Freedom of speech is not without consequence or accountability. Whether you choose to buy the game or not, keep the conversation going for the pursuit of a more compassionate community. We are all the Republic. And I always find Nick's words to be inspiring, introspective, and intelligent, and they have so much like thought and compassion behind them, and just like knowing Nick has helped me become a better person, and I always appreciate his friendship and his contributions, and
Yeah, no, that's really well said. Because yeah, we saw the trailer, a lot like everyone else. And it looked great, and we were very excited about it. And then the next day, you start reading about the company and the person in charge of that company, what they've said in the past and the behavior, and yeah, you have to take a step back and think about what's important. I would really like to have Disney and Quantic Dreams come out and at least address this in some sort of way. I don't know if that will happen, but I would like to see it happen. But yeah, very well said. So you have to take a step back and think about that what you say and the way you behave and act in the world is a reflection on you and what you want to put out there. So yeah, very well
Yeah.
said, Nick.
I mean, one of our videos we posted when the KOTOR remake was announced, like we had some person like uh kind of just comment and be like, "Ugh, you support this creator, you know, Sam Maggs, who's working on the new KOTOR remake, and uh,
Hmm.
you support her, and that's disgusting." And it's like, we didn't even mention her.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't even mention her in our video, but like I think they kind of like realized like, oh, we're about positivity and inclusiveness and like the original story of KOTOR, you know?
Hmm.
Um and maybe I think we should have said something sooner, but we were trying to find the right time and the right way to say it, but maybe we waited too long and that's on me. So I'm sorry. And but what I was going to say is she hasn't done anything wrong and she doesn't deserve that and no one deserves it. Like no one deserves to be canceled or harassed online or in person. And people are allowed to have opinions about things and about Star Wars. And
Hmm.
there are professionals working on these games and TV shows and movies. They're not just going to make something to make fans annoyed. They're going to tell the best story they can, and they care about the story and the
Right.
characters. And no one deserves that. And Sam Maggs has worked on some incredible games and with some incredible studios. And yeah, we probably should have said something sooner. And I'm sorry. So I didn't know if you had anything.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, think about the fact that these are people. So you definitely want to treat them like people for sure. Uh, but someone in the case of Sam Maggs, she's very excellent at her job. Yeah, all of these creatives are going to do the best that they can for these things. You know, whether you ultimately kind of agree with the direction they went with something, or whether you're happy with it, it's not through lack of trying. And obviously, Sam Maggs is very good at her job. She just did the story for the newest Call of Duty game, which is arguably one of the it's not even arguably, it's one of the largest video game franchises in the world. And, she was trusted to tell the story in that game and a lot of other games. Ratchet and Clank, she did an add on for the PlayStation Spider-Man game a couple years ago. She wrote the story for Anthem. And she's going to be writing the Luke Skywalker section of the upcoming The Stories of Jedi and Sith that's coming out, which I'm really looking forward to. So,
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
yeah, you have to just let the creative people, do their job, and then when that's all said and done, if you have constructive criticism and feedback, that's fine. But remember, on the other end of the Twitter handle or the newspaper article or whatever, they're just people and they're doing their best and they're probably excited for the opportunity that they're being given. And yeah, just be cool, as they say.
Yeah, and I mean, in our podcast, like we make changes, to the what we lovingly call the KOTOR adaptation that's not happening cinematic universe. So,
Hmm.
I mean, we constantly kind of like tweak things, and we try to modernize KOTOR. Like, they're not just going to arbitrarily make changes to make people mad. Like, some things should be tweaked, like to make a good uh, remake of a game from 2003 for an audience maybe like in 2023, 20
Right.
years
Yeah.
later, like a good story and good characters, like that's going to look different like when things come out in different times. And I KOTOR is the crown jewel. They're not just going to like chuck it, they're going to like uh
Hmm.
I think I don't know. I'm thinking of like a crown, metaphor. Like they're gonna like lovingly, like clean each jewel, or I guess each gem. I don't know. I'm not like a
Right. Sure. Yeah.
what is a gemologist or I'm not a person who deals with that stuff.
Yeah, I don't have any crowns and I have very few gems, but yeah, I mean they're not going to hire someone just because they're terrible. They're going to hire who they think is going to be best at this job. So yeah, keep that in mind when you're having your feedback.
Yeah. And okay, I'm gonna try to salvage this metaphor, but yeah, so they will clean each gem, restore it, make it look good. So like it's the crown jewel, like they're not gonna make it look ugly. They're gonna do the best job they can, and it's gonna be handled by professionals. And I'm sure like people will love, or like maybe not like all the sections, but I think it's gonna be, like a love letter to the original KOTOR, like a story that has meant so much to so many people, like until today, and yeah, I'm definitely for it. I'm just excited. I'm not nervous. Maybe I should have some trepidation, but I honestly don't. I'm just excited for more KOTOR in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just excited for it. Even if it's something that you want or you don't end up being happy with this one, you still have the one that you are happy with. No one's taking that away from you or erasing it. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, so we kind of had a Keanu Reeves episode, and then we tried to circle back to just like a message we have is just Star Wars is for everyone, Darth Revan is for everyone, and Knights of the Old Republic is for everyone. And just be a good person, like yeah, just try to be a good person, be selfless rather than selfish, like just be cool, be good to other people.
Yeah, just be cool. Don't gatekeep and be kind when you're talking to people online or creatives or people that are handling this because at the end of the day they are a person same as you. So
Yeah. So with that in mind, we hope you have a great time viewing The Matrix Resurrections and have a good holiday. May the force be with you.
that's right. May the force be with you.